All right, you want to kick us off?
I want to kick us off. We are here in the room.
Yes.
We are back in the space.
Once again.
You know, obviously sharing some tunes of our biblical past. Blessings to every single one of you all. We are back here on the couch for another exciting episode of the Life We Chose podcast.
Yes, indeed.
Kim, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be back on the couch. I feel good every time it's time to get back on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel ready. I feel rejuvenated. We had a nice conversation last night.
We did.
Probably should have kept it shorter than
we
that.
Probably should have kept it shorter.
3 episodes.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, it was from that conversation because I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I got to pick a topic. You know what I'm saying? I got to find something. And I was like, I don't really know what's coming out of me. And it was through that conversation that I was like, oh, I think we figured it out.
Yeah.
I think we figured it out. You know what I mean? So I'm ready. I'm ready to pie. You want to give them the homework?
Yeah, we got to do our little homework. You know, first off, I am chemistry.
Queen of Bergen here.
Yeah, and like we said, this is the Life We Chose podcast. Now, if you're tuning in from YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. If you are listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, be sure to give us a thumbs up or 5-star rating.
5-star, thumbs up, everything you can do with your fingers. Do that.
All of those things. Yeah, your 5 stars, get the podcast and pushed out into the world and let other people hear this valuable information that we have to share. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, how about we dive right in?
Let's dive right in. I want to talk about what I want out of life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about what I want. Okay? I don't care about everybody else in the world who got their hopes and dreams. That's cute. That's nice. But we're going to talk about what I want. Okay? Right. And the topic of this week's episode is going to be selfishness. I know, right? I just tingled some ears.
You know that word.
I just tingled some ears. I don't know if people are ready to talk about what? You gonna be selfish? You know what I mean? And I think that we live in a space and time where it gets hard to denote whether or not somebody is doing something for the right reasons. You know, we have social media, we have, podcasts and people, there's so many people out here expressing their truth.
Yeah.
That is just so hard to kind of denote how people feel. But I wanted to come on here and talk about this because it's been something that showed up for me in the last few weeks.
Okay.
And I feel like we're just not honest about it.
Ooh.
We're not really honest about the ways that we are selfish, mainly because of the way that it's portrayed to be selfish. And then also it was a negative connotation for when you were a child. My mom used to tell me that I was selfish. You know what I mean? That was, trauma. Right?
Wow.
It's if I did something, you know what I mean? It's nah, you're being selfish right now. You know what I mean? You're only thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
And that always confused me, Kim. It always confused me.
Break that down.
The reason why it confused me is because I was the thing is that I live this universe through 2 sets of eyeballs contained on one head, connect to one brain, living this very existence.
Yeah.
I found it so hard to I was how do I not think about me?
Yeah.
How do I not do that? For real. How do I not do that? Because everything that I need to do for myself is for myself, right? Yeah. So every time I live with myself, right? Yeah. And when I say live with myself, I'm not talking about my physical body. I'm talking about the thing in my head, right? The voice, that soul, whatever you want to call it, right? When I wake up in the morning, I have to be able to do whatever it is I need to do. I need to wake up. I need to brush my teeth. I need to shower. Yeah. I need to go to the gym. I need to put gas in my car. These are all things that are going to benefit me.
Yeah.
And I have to constantly, every single day, think about that. There's not a single person in the entire universe who has that responsibility than I.
Yeah.
So I always used to get confused when my mom would talk about being selfish because I'm just you only think about yourself. But it's what's weird is that I feel like everybody thinks about themselves.
Yeah.
But we just can't talk about thinking of ourselves. And that's why I want to have this conversation.
Got it.
Are there any, before I get into the details, right? Okay. Are there any ideas or examples in your life where you feel or do you think being selfish is a bad thing?
I think that we've been taught for so long that it's not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but there's a negative connotation around it.
Yeah.
The selfish person, they only want what's in it for them. They only want to do something that benefits their well-being. And a lot of times we think from the perspective of at the demise of someone else. You know, if I'm choosing to be selfish, it's because I specifically don't care about you. I like me doing what I'm doing for me is going to negatively impact everyone else around me. And I think that that's why it becomes such an uncomfortable thing, because it feels like I'm choosing my well-being, my benefit over yours. And it's negative to the person because they are the other.
Yeah.
So your well-being is my demise. You know? And so that's why I feel like we have such a negative feeling around it, this ickiness around it. But I also feel like I'm coming to terms with the fact that selfishness is honestly important. It's important for us to have a sense of selfishness because, you know, much like they say on the airplane, put your mask on before your child.
Yeah.
In order for me to even be beneficial to the world, I have to be well. And being well requires me being selfish and identifying that I need to get things together in here before I can excel out there. So, yeah, I think I'm growing into a space where understanding that selfishness is actually needed to better the world. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
It's foundationally, I don't think we really we don't want to say it. We really don't. I feel like I even think it's going to be hard just having this episode in a way, because I'm going to be saying things that I almost want to clarify as soon as I say it. Yeah. You know, as soon as I'm be like, oh, nah, I'm gonna worry about me first. But it's not like that. It's because I almost feel like I have to clarify it. I'm gonna work to try to not do that. Okay. Right? Simply because I just want to speak to that point. Yeah. But it's foundationally, you cannot be of assistance to someone else until you are assistance to yourself, right? Yeah. Which is why they say the things about, you know, putting on your mask first, right? Because realistically, beyond anything, beyond societal, it's a survival mechanism. Yeah. It's a survival mechanism that when you have, you know, when you have that last moment of trying to figure out, is it me or is it you? Pick you. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how you survive. Yeah. You don't survive. That's just
that's the human instinct.
That's the human instinct
ingrained in us. We can't you have to consciously think about not doing that.
Yes.
But understand that is the first thought. At all
that
times,
is right there. Boom. How does it and that what's crazy is that survival mechanism happens in other places too. If something happens to someone else, right? I feel empathy for that person, but I also think the reason why I could feel empathy is because I think about what if it happened to me. Yeah. Right? So you know, I'll give you an example, right? Because I know that there was I don't know if this is the greatest one, but this is what was it, last year when the California, when you took that trip to California and that happened?
The fires, yeah.
No, the fires. What? No, girl, I'm talking about you. Oh, when you went to California. Was it California?
Yeah.
It was San Francisco, whatever. But there was an unfortunate accident where you had got your things taken when you were out there in San Francisco. I was like, fires.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You know what? My brain went to Canada, and then I was like, I don't.
Yo, that did happen here too, though, man. It was days.
It
was days. It was dusty over here, but. And I wasn't even thinking about Canada at the time. I was thinking about myself. Damn. I was like, damn, I can't go outside. I can't.
I gotta wear a mask again.
As soon as the weather started getting nice,
houses are burning.
Yeah, houses burning, and I'm in here thinking about myself. That's a very good example. Forget even Cali. You know what I mean? But the point is that when something happens, it's almost in a weird way that you think to yourself about how it affects other people, but immediately the reason why you're able to do this is because you asked, how does it affect me and how do I move forward? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that honestly and truly, what we're talking about when we talk about selfishness, if you're dealing with it, you're probably dealing with the repercussions of it right now, right? In two ways. One, in how you feel about it in yourself. And then two, the person who feels like they're not getting your attention because of it. You know what I mean? So in terms of dealing with selfishness in within you, I think that I have to constantly remind myself that my time on earth is finite. Yeah. You know, the amount of time I'm going to be here is finite. Yeah. So if I wanted to take even the most vital example of my selfishness is in where I put my time and energy. And that's the one that typically affects a lot of people. Yeah. right? Because it's like, you know, you may have friends that you used to spend a lot of time with, do a lot of things with, but like maybe they've changed. Maybe, you know, we've grown up into different spaces, whatever.
Yeah.
And now you got to be more selfish with your time and your energy.
Yeah.
And now you have to make different choices. And that's going to affect your relationships. And a lot of, you know, a part of accepting the selfishness that you have in your life is also accepting the things that people are going to call you. And that's what makes being called selfish so hard for me, because it reminded me of when I was a kid. You're only thinking about yourself. You only, you know what I mean? And you gotta kind of live with what they call you. Oh, you changed. You know what I mean? You're not the same no more. You doing all these things.
Yeah.
But like, at its basic core, in order for me to be valuable to other people, I have to be valuable to myself, right? There is no other human being on this earth that is responsible for and is going to live this life besides me.
Exactly.
Besides me. So it's like, even if someone wants to look like you're only thinking of yourself, well, who's going to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
By its that, who's going to think about what's going on here? Because even in this moment, if somebody comes to you and they're saying that like, oh, you're only thinking about yourself. Well, the thing about it is, who do you want me to think of? You?
Yeah, because the counter side of selfishness is selflessness.
Yeah.
But then that also means that your giving is someone's receiving. So
exactly.
in some way, someone in the equation,
somewhere. You see how the math mapping?
Experience a bit of selfishness.
Exactly. You see how the math mapping now. You following? You tracking? We got to see how to math.
Yeah.
Because now, and as that started to come into my mind, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that don't make no sense.
That we would be offended.
That we would be offended by that. You know what I mean? That we would truly be offended by that. Now, when I talk about the clarification, I'm going to do a little bit of it right now. When it's like, it's whenever you choose selfishness to the detriment of other people, you know what I mean? And there will be detriment to other people, because that other person will feel slighted that they don't have your time, or they feel slighted that you're thinking about moving forward and they're not, or whatever the case may be.
I guess it wouldn't be detriment, but more so consequence. There's consequence to selfishness.
Yes, because consequence is an interesting word though. And the reason I think it is because like we always use the word consequence as a negative thing, although consequence just means effect.
The result of,
right? And we never really like talk about like, oh, there's positive consequences and negative consequences to whatever's going on. But that is a consequence of deciding that you're going to follow a path specifically for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And follow a calling that's specifically for you without having other people around who may want to draw your attention and draw your energy in other different directions.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to start reevaluating what we mean by that, because selflessness doesn't inherently mean a positive consequence.
Yeah.
We don't inherently, just because you are selfless, you know?
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, there's only one Queen, right? But there is a million different things that can pull my energy in different ways.
Yeah.
A million different things. I could be giving myself to charitable causes. I could be giving myself to relationships. I could be giving myself to, you know, all these other spaces, because if I'm not thinking of myself, I'm thinking about somebody else, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, the more you think about other people, the more you think about everything outside, is the more you're going to lose yourself.
Yeah.
By definition, because no one's doing the yourself part. You're out here doing, okay, I'm gonna think about them, I'm gonna think about this, I'm gonna think about that, and you're going to the more. That's why in relationships, when you pour yourself too far, they say you could lose yourself. You know what I'm saying? You could lose yourself in a relationship, you could lose yourself in a job, you could lose yourself in so many different things, and it's because you're taking away from yourself and pouring it into other things.
Yeah. Okay.
You following?
I see.
So what do you think?
I'm wondering if lose yourself, like when it comes to giving your energy and time, I wonder if it's losing yourself or depleting yourself. Would it be two different things, or can we kind of put them in the same box?
I mean, talk about it. What do you mean by like?
So because I feel like, you know, a lot of these things are still representative of who you are at your center. Like when we say put the mask on you first, when you're well, when we exist in spaces where we're good and we have to give, we're able to comfortably do so. Like I've seen multiple instances where we've done that when we've had, but then when it gets to the point where you do so much that you kind of don't have any more to give, that's when it starts to drain you. That's when it starts to pull your energy, and you're depleting your energy giving to these people. And now it's time for you to give to you to rejuvenate, I don't think that, I think that anytime I give, it's an extension of what I would like give to myself. Like what I would like to see, because all of these things, the same way that we feel the empathy when we're looking at someone else's situation and we're like selfishly thinking about, oh, that would suck if it happened to me. It's the same way that when we are good and full and our cup is overflowing, we can give a little bit of that to other people, because it's like, I would enjoy this. I'm pretty sure they would enjoy this too. I want people to feel as good as I feel right now with this thing that I have. So, it's natural in us as people to want other people to feel good. But it shouldn't come at the detriment of who we are as people. So you're right. Okay, so now that like you went through the breakdown, I'm like, no, that is depleting yourself, because then that's like taking that energy out, and handing it off to people. There was a quote that I heard one time that said, even your good deeds are a reflection of your own selfishness. Right? I heard that quote one time, and I was like immediately kind of like jarred by it a little bit. I was like, even my good deeds. But then when I think about it, I'm like, I think you're right. I think everything that I do, that when I say that I'm in moments of selflessness, when I'm thinking about other people, it's through the lens of like, I am more than likely going to assist people who are Black, who are LGBTQI plus, you know what I mean, who are younger, or even I have an inherent selfishness to the people in my community. A lot of the things like F-Town Christmas or F-Town this or whatever, you know what I mean? Just because of where I come from. And it's like, I'm thinking about them, but truly it's like, it's also connected to me, in some way, shape, or form. I think that when I talk about losing yourself is when those people, sometimes you are selfless, or you're trying to be selfless because you're people pleasing. That's when you can like start lose, because like that. So when you was talking about depleting, I was like, oh, you're right. There's a world where it's like, even when it's connected to you, you kind of like keep pouring. But then there's another world where you start giving of yourself to people because you want them to like you, because you want them to, misguided selflessness.
Just misguided, because you think that you're thinking about them, but you like what you're really trying to do is get them to like, and it's not even you. Like
you, accept you,
accept
feel
me,
a part of something.
If I don't contribute, and that can come from a lot of places, even like for me being like the child, if I'm being selfish in my house, I start giving or start doing things in my home so that my parents can accept me. You know what I mean? Oh, they will be pleased with me if I start doing these things. And then it almost turns a switch on that I've had to change in my adulthood, which is why that conversation happened with us last night. Where I had to say, like, there's a world, like, I've been so focused on pleasing people outside of me that now I have to start pleasing myself. No pause. I gotta start I need to pleasure myself. We
all need a little one.
You feel me? We all need a little bit of it. And it's like, I truly, truly hope that even just having this banter amongst us two, that this is something that if you're going through these moments where you're like, where you have to say to yourself, like, I have to choose me, especially because there are people who could use your time and energy. Are we?
I know. We're still, how slow this can go. Just wanted to make sure we're still good on time.
We're
still good.
It's like, there's a lot of people, like, especially with so much going on, there's no shortage of other people going through things. There's no shortage of like you going through your existence, and you got other people, but it's like, this is really a testament to say, put your own mask on first. Put your own mask on first, because I'm at this point now where it's like all of these things, like, and I used to be able to do that when I was younger. I'd be going off to every single direction that pulled my attention.
Yeah.
But now I have to get to a point where I'm saying to myself, like, the only way I'm going to be able to be full and be able to help you is if I focus on this right now. I know you may not see it, but if I focus on this right now, I am going to be able to create my life of abundance. And when I create my life of abundance, I will then share it.
Yes.
I'll then share it, you know? And it's like, that's because I want to do that. I selfishly want to do that.
Yes.
I want to create abundance so that I can give abundance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by having a positive consequence to it.
I love that.
Books is arguably the greatest thing that has been able to help me through a lot of these thought processes.
Yeah.
Because like I can't, besides talking to you guys, which I'm happy now that I'm able to get this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm happy to get it out to you guys. But I had to listen to a lot of books to kind of just figure out what was going on inside of me, to figure out, like, is there something wrong with the fact that I want to focus on me? Is there something wrong with me saying that, like, I'm going to choose me and not you? Like, it's like, ugh. But I actually read a book that really, really helped me with this process, right? And this book is called You Are the One You've Been Waiting For. You Are the One That You Have Been Waiting For.
Oh, I'm going to need that one.
By Richard Schwartz, Dr. Richard Schwartz. You know what I mean? You Are the One That You've Been Waiting For. Now, this book is actually, Dr. Richard Schwartz is, I guess, the founding father, I guess you would say, of something called IFS.
Okay.
And IFS stands for Internal Family Systems, right? And it's a type of therapy. So I'm in therapy now, right?
Yeah.
So I do CBT therapy, but I started to get interested in IFS. And IFS is basically is a type of therapy about addressing your inner childhood wounds, addressing some of those things that are going on inside of you. And as you notice, even in this episode, I talked about me being a child and, experiencing, the feelings of selfishness or feelings of being accepted. Early on, those are whatever feelings that you're having could easily be connected to an early childhood experience that you haven't fully healed from, right? And the book in and of itself, You Are the One That You've Been Waiting For, is specifically trying to find those exile parts of you, bringing them to the surface, healing them, so that you are in charge of whatever it is that you have coming next. Right?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so you're the one that's in charge of it. And it's like, I know a lot of people, you may be even looking outward to try to figure out, like, who's going to come and save me, who's going to come and figure this out, or like, or whatever those things are. Or if you're blaming, whatever you got going on in your life on external situations, understand that you are the one that you are waiting for. You're the one that's going to be able to help your situation. And if you are interested in trying to find out those parts of you, or if any of this, even if any part of this episode triggers you too, there's likely a part of you that also needs to be addressed as well. And even in me too. So, that book is called You Are the One That You've Been Waiting For by Richard Schwartz. All right, so for today's shout out, I'm shouting out myself.
Let's go.
Right? I'm shouting out myself, all right, at Queen of Bergen.
There you go.
All right, you should definitely follow me on all social medias because I'm out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, we out here not only, I say we, I'm already
this
about
is
to
your
be self.
shout out.
Yeah, I'm already about to include
right
you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
selfish.
I be out
Selfish
here.
right
You know what I'm saying? I'm in the poetry community. I am in the creative community. I'm offering a lot of resources to creatives. And honestly and truly, I'm doing this not only so that I can be successful, so that I can also see other creatives be successful as well. You know what I mean? So you don't need to do it, but this is your time and you should give me my flowers. You know what I mean? Give me my thank you. Thank you. All my flowers. All of them.
All right, folks, you know what time it is. We have the 3 B's. What are you doing for your brain, your body, and your business? Now, I think I'm going to keep it kind of short right now.
Okay.
Because I think my brain and my business are somewhat combined.
I'll do it.
So in the effect of being selfish, I've decided to spend a lot more time really focusing on this business and what we're going to do to continue to take it to the next level. I've been sacrificing some of that time out of guilt, when it comes to being in the home, having a wife and all of these things, you know, kind of like making sure I give, a lot of me to whether it's family or my wife or things like that. And I think that, I'm creating a barrier of space for me to be selfish at least 1 or 2 hours out the day.
Yeah. At least, I mean. At minimum. I mean.
Once we get past the work life and all of these other tasks that we have that are obligations of ours, I'm carving out a space for myself, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it anymore. I'm not going to feel guilty about it anymore. I'm going to be selfless to myself. That's what I'm going to do. So
to the people in the back.
Yeah, I got some, we got some things that we're working on here. I got goals that I really want to pursue, and for them to take effect, I have to dedicate time to myself. So that is the brain and the business. The body, consistently working out. We're staying in the gym. That's another selfish thing that we're doing for the body, making sure that we take time to take care of ourselves. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Bet. Brain. This week I got an Amazon package.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what that means. I got an Amazon package. Inside of my Amazon package is some accessories and some tools. I'm going to be continuing my journey of creating life.
Okay.
Yes. So for my brain, which is interesting because it's like, so I've been farming medicinal mushrooms.
Yeah.
And just kind of trying to learn about them and all those things or whatever. So I actually just got me like a bunch of things to do that this week.
Okay.
But the reason why I think it's so great for my brain is because it gets me away from, it doesn't like get me to the larger, grander goal of, me being on top of the world, but it helps me in my day-to-day be able to kind of get away from things.
Gotcha.
And it gives my brain something to do, right? Sometimes you need to have something that keeps you distracted.
Yeah.
And I've been having fun being distracted by that. So my brain has been, smiling at that a little bit.
Tinkering with some things.
Yeah, tinkering with some things. As far as the body goes, like, I'm not even going to hold you. I was eating terribly this past week. Yeah, I could see it in my face. Like, I was like, oh my God. I didn't, like, you know what I mean? And like, I was like, oh, I need to, mind you, I was eating bad, but like I was running. Right.
Okay.
So I've been running a lot more.
Yeah.
And the running was like, people would be like, oh, wow, you look so healthy or whatever. And it's like, as soon as I would run, I would like then eat like a, bacon, egg, and cheese or something like that right afterwards. And I was like, oh, no, I ran. It's all
justification.
Yeah, justification. I wasn't doing. Yeah, it was. So I actually went out yesterday and I went grocery shopping so I can meal prep, because one of the biggest reasons I was grabbing fast food and stuff is because I was like, oh, there's nothing at the house. I don't feel like making it. Da, da, da. So I'm going to be meal prepping today. So I'm going to be doing that for my body so that at least for the next 7 days.
Good.
I have no excuse. For the next 7 days, I got food at home.
There we go.
I got food at home. And then for my business, I've actually done cold pitching this week.
Ooh.
I did cold pitching this week. I went out, you know what I mean, with like, my proposals and stuff like that, and just talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be exciting because I know, we were talking about that last night. We're not going to go too heavy into it right now. But like being able to sell yourself.
Exactly.
You are your greatest product. And it's like, it's such a scary thing to do that. And I was like, in order for me to really be about this, I have to start overcoming that fear, for real. And I'm pretty good at it. So I'm pretty good at it. You know what I mean? It wasn't all, sunshines and rainbows, but I'll be posting more about that on my Instagram page. So be sure to check me out at Queen of Bergen, and you can follow on that journey too.
Dope. We love it. Listen, guys, it has been another amazing time with you. I hope you spend some time figuring out ways to be selfish in your own lives so that you can get further ahead toward the things that you are chasing. I am Chemistry.
I am Queen of Bergen.
And this is the Life We Chose podcast. We love y'all.
Peace.
Yeah, this is the life that we chose. All about goals, all about getting the go. Pedal to metal, we drove. Head to the heels, I wanna give me a bow. 2020 be